Hi guys, Pie Guy Rules here. Yeah, I know there are a lot of these on YouTube nowadays, but I decided to throw my 2 cents in. I am a teenager, and I grew up with Cartoon Network when I was a young boy, and it used to be pretty much my favorite network. You know, shows like Dexter, Johnny Bravo, and the Eds. It was all so great. But now what happened? It's so sad. Well, let's begin with the good. So let's take a peek at some of the highlights of the best parts of Cartoon Network.
It's television on rocket fuel. And the tunes are in control. Screwy, is it?
For 10 years, the best place for cartoons. Well, that just says it all. It was only the best place for cartoons for 10 years. After that, it turned to, well, let me show you a little clip of some of the horribleness that Cartoon Network has turned into today. Well, I'll tell you the first thing wrong with this picture right now. This is Cartoon Network. That's a live-action show. Seriously, what gives? Okay, there's cartoons in it. How does that make it a cartoon? Alright, let's go on to the next part. Did you get all that? There's kind of a lot there. So apparently the writers decided that they can't come up with enough ideas if the boy just had cartoons coming out of his brain. They have to throw in an alien sister, his dad is the principal or some sort of guidance counselor, and his mom is an astronaut. Okay. So let's see. Why does it have to be an alien? Also, she dates a werewolf in the series. What does that have to do with anything? I mean, can't you come up with enough story ideas for cartoon characters coming out of some freakish kid's brain? And another thing, if you got hit by a train, I think you'd have a lot more to worry about than having cartoons in your head. I think that kind of sounds as like... I know it's a fiction show, but really, it doesn't make any sense at all. Especially when you see the clip of him getting hit with the train. He like goes flying 50 feet in the air. Jeez. Alright, let's continue. Okay, so here's the one part where I kind of agree with the show. There's this guy that tries to steal back the brain because, and I did see the movie was okay, because the brain that he got is Milt Appleday's, some sort of cartoon, like Walt Disney of our time, based on the myth of Walt Disney's brain. So basically, this is the Walt Disney guy's son. So he wants his daddy's brain back by stealing it out of Jimmy. Okay, you know, that's actually kind of a valid plot point. You know, I mean, it goes along with everything. Well, it goes along a lot more than Aliens, at least. But considering that, in the show, he's pretty much just comic relief. He doesn't have any... Actually, I don't even think I've seen him with Jimmy in the show at all. Mostly, he just argues with Yancey. Oh, and another thing, he lives with the family. Apparently, they decide to take him in for no apparent reason. Yes. Oh, and on top of this, Jimmy also runs the Appleday Studios, which is like Disney Studios. So, yeah. Pretty much there's a lot of things that there's going on here. Way too many for one TV show. And especially consider none of them are played out right. So let's continue with the last of the theme song. So he wants to make new friends. Well, that's kind of hard to do considering he only hangs out with two kids at the same time who are brother and sister, which happen to also be changed from the movie. In the movie, they're Asian. Now they're African American and played by completely different actors and actresses. Seriously, the first time I saw it, I was like, okay. From the movie, Jimmy decides to dump his friends and pick up these clones of them that look nothing alike them but act the same way. So apparently they're the same characters, just different actors, which is one big problem. There's a lot of continuity errors between the series and the movie. Oh, and another thing, in the commercials, based on the hit movie, Reanimated. Well, how was that a hit movie? It wasn't even in theaters. I don't see it nominated for anything. I mean, I could be wrong on this, but still. Okay, so, and the last part. And not go off the deep end, or else I'll go out of my head. Well, I know the creators must have been out of their head. The show is nuts. So, yeah, let's talk about a few plot points. Well, first of all, okay, so basically, he got hit by the train, and now now he sees what this cartoon creator saw. Alright, but now, so technically it's all in Jimmy's mind. Now, how is it that these cartoon characters are able to dig holes and affect things in the real world like biting people? Does that make any sense whatsoever? Yeah, no, none whatsoever. Not at all. And also, the laugh track that they decide to put in midway through the first season and put in during the early episodes. Oh my god. It's like telling you when to laugh at horrible moments. I mean, seriously, it's like having it. They may as well just put a little sign in the corner that says applaud, because no one's laughing at those parts. I'm serious, even my little 6-year-old cousins don't like this show. It doesn't make any sense. And why is he in junior high anyway? This show's supposed to be appealing to little kids. Okay, so that was my little rant about that show, and that's just one of the many flops on Cartoon Network. Let's move on to the next bad show on Cartoon Network. Does anyone remember this masterpiece?
Cartoon Fridays. Friday at 7 on Cartoon Network.
Well, say hello to the new version. Yeah, Fried Dynamite. Yeah. Basically, it's a bunch of 8-year-olds jumping around thinking they're cartoon characters or something. It has nothing to do with anything whatsoever. Let's see, Cartoon Fridays was a 10. This is a -7 on a scale of 1 to 10. Yeah, it's just that bad. Seriously, I'm not even going to burn your eyes with some footage. This is, like, terrible. It almost makes me not want to watch the cartoons because the middle segments are so bad. This is what's on Friday nights in between TV shows. It's scary. Seriously, it's like a bunch of 8-year-olds jumping around thinking they're hilarious. It's a waste of everything. It's a waste of resources. It's a waste of your eyes. You know, you'd have more fun burning your eyes with, like, or finding a way to burn your eyes with a match than watching this. So, stay tuned for part 2 where I highlight the best of the old Cartoon Network and pit it against some of the worst parts of the new Cartoon Network. See you in part 2.